Hello, I wanted to show you guys how I make a rope wreath. This rope wreath came in, I was all out of my rope and I found out it's actually a kid's rope. So it was a lot smaller than this, but the good thing is you can pull it out and then make it a bigger loop. And then it's not as many loops as a normal rope, but it works. So what I did is I just pulled this around, but I'm going to be using floral wire to connect the bottom here, and you're not going to be able to see this here. I did keep this out because I just want to show that it is a lasso. So I'm going to start by using floral wire, and I'm just going to wrap some around. This is going to be a sunflower pheasant feather custom wreath. So my customer, this is a gift for her friend in, I want to say Arizona, I'm trying to remember. But anyways, it's for her friend and she wants sunflowers and pheasant feathers. So I'm getting ideas in my head right now of exactly what I want to do. I don't want to make it too full. I want to make it pretty simple, country style obviously. And so I'm just starting by making a couple loops here, and you could either use foam or like a garland, twig garland, which that's what I'll be using today. Here is the garland I have. It was really long and it had floral on it from fall. It was on sale. So I purchased this and took everything off, and I have been cutting it and using it on my wreaths. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist this in half, and I am going to attach this like so to the wreath. So at first it looks a little interesting, but you will see what I do with it. And I love this rope actually because it's very bendy, and it works well to, let's see. So I haven't made a rope wreath since beginning of Christmas. I made a really pretty winter. Oh no, that's not true. I did make some like before winter, and then during winter I made a few for a customer as well. Let me just do this like so. And I'm gonna wrap again. This is good too because the wire helps to keep all the stems and greenery in. It's just another place for it to hold. So then I go around, and I'm going to find this right here, and I'm going to twist. All right, and I see, you know, this is going up. This isn't the best holder for a rope because it's going to want to pull forward. So usually people use like a door hanger with a little hook, and so it'll be better once it's like, I should have just put it on that one. That one's a little easier. All right, so get that nice and twisted, and then I cut. I haven't actually even picked out any of the floral that I'll be using, but I do have pheasant feathers, and these are from like a friend and also my husband because we live in Idaho and we are bird hunters. And so these, if you purchase these from Hobby Lobby, like one of them is like $2 just for one. So I'm like telling all my friends that pheasant hunt and my husband, keep the pheasant feathers because they're so expensive, and I would rather have natural pheasant feathers and get them cleaned up and use them. So let me go ahead and pick what sunflowers I plan on using today, and I'll get to work. Okay, I kind of looked through some of my supply, and I may or may not use it, so we will see. but I found some of these little picks, and they're from Michael's, I believe from last fall. These are some magnolia leaves from Hobby Lobby. I have a piece of a hydrangea that I could cut apart and add some few wispy, like creamy whites. And then I got 3 different sunflowers, and I'm trying to decide on if I want to do an orange. I'm thinking an orange. These are kind of a reddish orange. I will see, but I think I'm gonna go with some of these oval leaves here. Those are always fun to start with. And I'm trying to decide how I want to hang this. I'm gonna have to add a jute string up on top while I'm working so that it holds better. Or actually, I'm just gonna do a quick pipe cleaner. That way I don't have to worry about it sliding around so much. So I'm just gonna loop this through. This will not stay, but this is just for a while I make it. We'll see if it holds any better. If not, that's okay too. I might have to. Okay. So what I'm going to start with is the outer layer of greenery. And this might bend while I'm doing it, but afterward I can just make it back into a round shape. Let's start with cutting some of this greenery off. This greenery is spring greenery, so I don't know how long it's going to be available. This one's from Michael's. And like I said, it's called the oval leaf. That's all that it gives me. So honestly, I don't exactly know what these leaves would be called other than oval leaf. So you don't see the glue pot, but I have a glue pot sitting here, and I'm gonna dip every stem into the glue pot. And honestly, you can stick the leaves in between the rope. That way it will stay a little better. Okay, I think I'm going to do that on this side as well. This has a thicker stem, so I'm going to have to really push. Same thing, I'm just going to put this one through. And actually this one for now. Okay. And I'm going to add a couple pheasant feathers to start with. Pheasant feathers are really long, so I'm going to cut mine down. And I will just add some glue to the end and add into this space here. So with this one, you know, it looks like this. It doesn't look so great, but you'll find your scissors and to your best ability, kind of just shape it. And you could use this later. And put that into the so it looks a little bit more natural than what it did. So, all right. So as you can see, this is how I cut it. I'm gonna stick it in the glue and I'm going to push it in. Okay. I just cut this one off here. Actually, I'm going to make it a little shorter. decided to go a little bit lighter tones with the greenery on this one just because it's the white rope. Lighter and brighter for kind of like summer, and it still could be for fall as well. Okay. It's amazing how long the pheasant feathers can get. I'm gonna use my glue gun for this one. And since I'm using pheasant feathers, I'm going to be shipping this one, so I'm going to try to keep the pheasant feathers more in the center area instead of way out, because it's just better for shipping. You don't want them to break and bend. Then I'm going to use another stem. So sometimes when you start adding, it gets a little hard to maneuver these in because it's nice and tight, but it's a good thing because you want your materials to fit nice and tight in there. I'm going to make it kind of flowy this way and probably put the sunflowers here in the center. So I'm going to start by adding some more, or some sunflowers, see what it looks like. Trying to decide which ones will look best. I have red, I have, let's see. I'm looking at the centers to see which one's which here. My eyes play tricks on me. Okay, I'm gonna put these ones down because I won't be using these ones. I have a small table, small space, so not everything fits. All right, so I'm gonna start by adding the sunflowers. Dip them in the glue. And I think I might be using 2 different types of flowers, because see, you see this is kind of green, this one's kind of more of a reddish. I'm just gonna see how that works out. So if the stem is easy to pull out of the hole here, you're always going to, or you're going to want to put glue at the end of your stem and stick that in there, and just wait a second, let it dry. That way you're not worrying about it falling out. So I'm going to wait, let that one dry. And see, some of them are really in there, so those ones are good to go. Just going to prep these by cutting them. You don't want to come too short because, well, you could, and then you'd have to pull it out of the stem and put a new stem in. Find one that fits good. Okay, gonna add this one in. This is like the orangish, more orange color. So the customer that's purchasing this, she bought a wreath that was on a wood bead hoop, and it had these colors with some pheasant feathers. Very different, but I thought, you know what, if she liked that so much and this is a gift for her friend, I'm gonna do something similar to those colors. I do have one more, but am I gonna use it? Should I use it? Sometimes you just place it without gluing to just see. And I think I am gonna use it actually. I think I will. This is when it gets tricky. Sometimes you can get burnt, so be careful. You're gonna want to pull back all the flowers so that you don't get any glue on it. And you're gonna, this is where it gets tricky. You have to find the place. And I did, thank goodness. Okay, so just like a bundle of flowers there. Now that I see this, I don't think I'll be using any white hydrangeas. So I'm gonna set that to the side. And there are like these leaves that came with the sunflowers, so I'll set those aside as well, because who knows, I might use them. Here is the other part of that feather, and I'm just going to cut it into, I know you can't see it, but okay, like so. Look to see if this even looks good with the colors that I will be using. Sometimes I grab stuff and then I don't end up even using it. So trying to decide if I want to have yellow incorporated in this piece. So since this is one stem, I'm going to be cutting it, and I'll show you what I do to keep these on. I just twist, since this is wire, you can just twist it, and that way you know it will stay on. So this one here, I'm going to test it here, and I'll probably use it. So dip it in the glue. Again, you don't have to dip it in the glue if you are testing it to see if you want to use that style. And with these wreaths, you can use, I mean, there are so many choices of colors and textures that you can use. I didn't think I would like this one together, but I actually do. Sometimes when you start a wreath, well, for me anyway, I'm like, oh, it's not looking so great, but you know, I just keep going, adding to it, changing things, and it ends up looking really pretty. These have nice bendable wire too, so you can bend them however you'd like. I need to add more greenery here, so I'll do that. I'm gonna have to kneel down to look underneath to make sure I place it properly. And that wire that I hooked the twig garland on really is so helpful for this. Okay, this one, and I'll twist the wire up. So just twist and then put your greenery up. This one doesn't have a yellow, so actually I'm going to figure something else out. I'm going to do this one instead. And there are some spots that you can see some glue, but that's okay because, you know, at the end when like you're almost finished with your wreath, that's where you can go along with maybe like a small leaf and then just glue it in that place. I'm going to test how these magnolia leaves will look behind this color. I do like the brown on the back. It gives it just more color and texture. So I'm going to test this one without using the glue. This one's actually in there so good that you probably don't need to use the glue, but I can go, when I'm finished, I can go on the back and just glue it as well. This just like kind of shows through, but not really, but it gives it, you know, that space will be taken. And then I'll just give it a different color. So I'm going to add one over here. You probably won't be able to see because I'm going to cover real quick. And sometimes you have to go through the rope and wire. I know you can't see that pheasant feather very well, so I'll be adding some small pheasant feathers here as well, and maybe a couple extra long ones. I'm gonna add, oh, there's an example of something that was loose, so I'm going to add some glue to the end of this here. Just poke it right back on, make sure it's nice and secure. Some of these are hard to pull up. There we go. Sometimes I make lives and I forget I'm on live. I'm not on live today, but I still wanted to make this video so I can make a quick video, like, you know, how I do a lot of my videos. I do them fast, but I also want it to be available like on YouTube where you can rewatch it and it's somewhat feels live with me talking. Going to add pheasant feathers again. Add a little glue to the front and back. Some of these pheasant feathers are so funny how like they're twisty, so I won't be using that one. I also have some turkey feathers in here as well. I love that they're all so unique too. They're all different. So like this one is a lot different than this one, more of like a spot. These are connect, so really cool. There are so many ways to actually make wreaths. There's another way to make this is by just literally wiring all the items on to the rope. But when you do that, sometimes you can't add as much as maybe you'd like or give it as much depth as you would like and as much texture. So that's why I used that grapevine, or not grapevine, the twig garland. I think I'm going to add some more greens to this. Yeah. This has a thicker stem, so hopefully I can get in there good. And on this one, I actually took the stem off. I'm going to take a couple of these off, which is good because I can reuse these, and I'm going to just do that right now. I'll add some glue, and there's a spot here right now that you may not be able to see, but I can see that has a little bit of glue that I just want to hide, and this is how I do it. Careful of your fingers, but there you go. Now I can't see it, so perfect. And then to make a longer stem, I took those 2 leaves off and I'm going to add glue. This one I'm not going to connect in to the twig garland. This one I am going to add to the items that are already there with the glue. Because once it gets nice and full, you can just glue those onto each other. And I'm just adding that one just to add a little fullness on this side here. Just like so. And I always have to step back and take a look at my work to make sure it's looking good, which it is. I really like it so far. I'm going to cut another end of a pheasant feather off. Okay. Oh, I got things falling on the floor. That's why sometimes I don't put my garbage can too close, because I'll be like, oh my gosh, where'd that item go? Oh, later, thank goodness I find it in the garbage. Okay, same thing. This one is just gonna go right in behind some of the greenery and stick there with the glue. This one's really cool. I'll show you in a second how cool this one is. This one has like almost like a reddish. It has like 3 or 4 different patterns in this just one feather. Super cool. I'm just gonna cut it a little bit. I'm running out of glue on my glue gun. Okay. This one. Looking good. I want to make this one like simple but pretty. I'm really bad at making simple wreaths. To be honest, I tend to keep adding and adding and adding. But I think I'm gonna be good about this one. I'm gonna actually stay. I'm testing some magnolia leaves. I cut the stem off, and I'm just thinking about possibly gluing a few into these areas here, and that's what I'll do just to give it some more color. I have to grab a glue stick. And I'm going to change you to the other side. Okay, just to give you a different angle, I am going to show you. I'm just going to add glue on this baby. Add it right behind the sunflower, and you're connecting it to maybe the sunflower and the greenery that's already there. And again, after I'm done, I will go and I will check and make sure everything's really glued and secure in the back. Go in here. Okay. So on these magnolia leaves, there are smaller and larger leaves, I noticed. So I'm using some of the smaller ones. Doing both sides. So since this one has more of this here, I'm going to add just a few more sprigs of that on this side as well. Maybe not so many, maybe just this many. I'll cut. Dip. And I'm going to have to pull back that sunflower. I do want to add one behind this as well. So the cool thing about these leaves here, you could actually cut them to the size that you'd like. So I'm just going to trim this one down a little bit. I'm going to cut, you're not going to be able to see that shape on the bottom because I'm going to hide it. And I just burnt myself. Yowzer. Okay. I'm going to pull this back. And I'm just going to push that in to the greenery. I'm going to add some more of this oval greenery to this area here. and it's gonna be hard to find a spot. Sometimes I have to go back to put some more glue, go back and take a deeper look into this. There we go. And I have 2 more, so I'm just going to use them. I'm going to figure out a spot for them and use them. I think I need another one up top, so we'll do that. And then I'm going to use another one for texture in the back here. And I'm going to get up and make sure I'm actually videoing. Hey Vincent.
Yeah?
Can you check to make sure I'm actually videoing? Is it red?
Yeah.
Good, thanks. Okay. I'm going to go back and glue that one. It's kind of in the rope. My kids are home. Gee, I can't believe it. Today is the first day of summer, longest day of the year, and I had to wear gloves and like ear covers on my run today, and I could see my breath. And then the kids, when I came back, we went on a walk, and it was the same way. They wore their winter coats, and it's the first day of spring. The crazy thing is it actually snowed a couple hours away from here in the mountains. It snowed about 7 inches. And we were actually up there, and where we were at, it snowed on us a little bit. Okay, so I used 2 full stems of these oval leaf, and I didn't quite use everything of these here, so I will definitely be using these in another wreath. So I'll just get them together, put them to the side. Same thing. I think I am done. I'm not going to be using the greens that came off the sunflowers. I think it has enough of the pheasant feathers. I don't want to overwhelm it. I just wanted to make it like sweet and to the point. And then I just kind of make sure everything is exactly how I'd like it. Then this is where I'm just going to turn it around. And I'm going to just glue and cut any pieces that need to be cut, which doesn't look like anything needs to be cut. Another thing that you can do is you can glue the spots between the twig garland and the rope. Just makes it secure. You don't have to do it the whole way, but you can. And then I'll go and I just add a few more things of glue to those stems to make sure that they stay in place. Okay. And then you could turn it around and do the same for the bottom. Make sure those stay in. So you can add a burlap piece in this area, but I don't think I'm going to. I think it's good as is. You could add a bow or ribbon up top, and you know what? I might actually add a ribbon for hanging, or maybe just a jute string. I just have to find my jute string. Right now I have like spring colors, and spring colors won't look good on this, but this one is great for summer or fall. Just really simple, sweet wreath that can go indoors or outdoors. I highly recommend. All my wreaths are under cover, so under like patio, covered door. And if they're in full sun, I mean, even if I spray UV spray on them, they are, no matter what the quality of anything is, it can turn color. So I highly recommend, if your door gets like a lot of sun, either taking it down during the hottest times, or you know, if you're local, I can also replace any flowers or anything for you the next year or if you want to change anything. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments section, and I will be sure to get back to you about your questions, as well as if you need a custom wreath, you know the colors, or I make with ropes, hoops, metal hoops, wood bead hoops. I do door hangers, I do swags, I do grapevines. I mean, you name it, I can make it on a hat. I could make it on a violin. Like, there's just so many options. So if you have something custom in mind, please send me a direct message. I would love to help you to make your door beautiful. Have a great day, and check out CaseyLee.co, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.